the flow of today's demo. We'll start with an overview of vFabric, then take a brief look at the vFabric core components. Moving on, we'll delve into these components in depth with the functionalities that vFabric Web Server, TC Server, Gemfire, and Hyperic provide. This will include two hands-ons, one for Gemfire session management and the other for Hyperic high availability. vFabric is VMware's platform as a service offering and brings the benefits of cloud computing to the application level. If VMware's vCloud is our choice of infrastructure, it makes sense to use vFabric as our platform, as it is fine-tuned to maximize the benefits of the underlying vCloud setup. vFabric is a suite of components comprising of web server, app server, database server, monitoring and management module, in-memory data management, and much more, all combined to form a complete and cohesive application stack. vFabric Web Server is an enterprise-level web container and load balancer. TC Server is vFabric's implementation of Tomcat, which VMware has tweaked to minimize resource footprint and maximize concurrent access, so a large number of TC Server instances can be deployed on limited resources. Also, it has low response time and quick deployment, and this drastically reduces downtime and increases throughput. Gemfire is an in-memory data and session management module that works in between the application and database layers. It reduces data seek time by caching frequently accessed data in memory. It also works as a session management module, thus relieving application and web servers from the overhead of maintaining session information. Displayed here are multiple instances of TC Server which are a part of a Gemfire cluster with session management. When a user initiates a web request, the request is brokered via the web server to the presently least loaded TC Server instance. The session states of all the instances are stored in the distributed Gemfire cluster. So if any instance goes down, the session is instantly transferred to another TC Server instance. Let us get a feel of Gemfire session management hands-on. We have here two instances of TC Server with the same application deployed on them. As we can see, neither of the web sessions are currently logged on. We log in on a single session and forcefully shut down the host TC Server. But the other instance takes up the session from the instance that we brought down and continues serving subsequent requests without the end user even realizing that the session has been ported to another TC Server instance. Hyperic is a versatile monitoring and management tool that gives us real-time visibility on how vFabric resources are performing. It also allows us to set thresholds and define remedial measures when these thresholds are exceeded. We have here a threshold set against the availability status of a resource syncloud vFab05. Once the availability status of this resource equals 0, an alert is triggered. The remedial measure is a workflow execution that brings up another instance of the same resource to replace it. As we can see, this alert was last triggered at 7:53 AM. We are now going to move on to the vCloud interface and bring this resource down in an effort to trigger this alert and bring up another instance to replace it. As we can see, syncloud vFab05 is currently powered on, and its IP address is 192.168.102.45. An application is hosted on vFab05 and a user session is already in progress. To simulate a hardware fault that disrupts the user session at vFab05, we are going to power it off and trigger the alert. Once SynCloud vFab05 is powered off, we move back to the Hyperic console, and as we can see, a fresh alert has been triggered at 9:23 a.m. This alert has in turn invoked a workflow, which has brought up another instance to replace SynCloud vFab05. SynCloud vFab06 is now powered on as a result of the workflow execution, and it has the application that was being hosted by vFab05 pre-deployed onto it. And it continues servicing vFab05's user session from its IP address 192.168.102.46. And as we can see, vFab06 picks up from exactly where vFab05 had left off. Thus, vFabric helps leverage the underlying vCloud environment to ensure scalability, reliability, and availability, thus giving its users a competitive advantage.